San Diego 6 News in the morning. Your station for balanced news.
Well, some are calling this the spring, the worst season for allergy sufferers ever. Why the pollen explosion is so bad right now, and what you can do to ease your long-term sinus problems. Doctor from Alvarado Hospital joins us next. Well, health news now. Have you ever felt your allergies act up more than usual this year? Well, there's actually science behind that. Pollen counts are way up. What can you do for relief? And what about chronic sinus sufferers? What's the difference between the two? Dr. Brian Weeks from Alvarado Hospital joins us. He's from the Senta Clinic. Great to see you, doctor. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate it. This year, one of the worst years ever for allergies, right?
It's really a terrible year, and I'll tell you what, there's actually some science behind it, Alex. I mean, we've had such a tremendous amount of rain this year. The weather's been very, very sporadic. We've gone from really cold days to days where it's warm and sort of almost non-seasonally in a lot of times. And so what that's done is it's allowed a tremendous amount of moisture to build up in the soils. We've had a really early growing season, and now we're dealing with flowers and things growing and just blooming, and the pollen counts have been at really an all-time high.
And a lot of people that may not have had allergies before are this year getting them for the first time because of those high pollen counts. So what do they do?
Exactly. Well, I tell you what, when you're dealing with a situation where somebody maybe hasn't had an allergy problem before, there's a couple of easy solutions for problems like that. The first thing I tell people all the time is, when you're exposed to pollens and the pollens are what's stimulating you, the best way to deal with them is actually just to irrigate your nose. And so we talk about nasal saline irrigations, simple over-the-counter remedy that works beautifully. It just keeps things clean. It doesn't keep you from having an allergy. It just mediates the pollens and rinses those out. So that's really a good starting point for those patients.
Any spray better than others?
I think the best one is just Ocean nasal spray, and it's a simple saltwater concoction. It's pre-made. You can get it at Costco. It's inexpensive.
And do it every day?
Every day, once a day.
And so some of the questions are, do you have an allergy, or maybe do you have major sinus questions? How do you know the difference between the two?
Yeah, it's interesting, and often that's a gray area. There's a tipping point, if you would. A lot of patients will find that they have a sinus problem when they get a bad allergy outbreak, and this time of year is notorious for starting that process. What I tell people is, if you're starting to find that you're seasonally suffering from congestion, watery, itchy eyes, and a lot of the things that we attribute to allergy, it's really important to have a proper evaluation. You can go in, you can see your allergist or your ear, nose, and throat doctor. You can get an allergy testing. The big difference is determining whether or not it's allergy and sinus. And sinus problems are much more serious in the sense that they can lead to other health issues. So that's really the starting point.
And then if you are diagnosed with sinusitis, which I've been diagnosed myself, there is a solution, something that you guys are working on.
Absolutely. I think, the key is understanding that you do have a sinus problem. You've had a proper workup with imaging studies and things like that done. A CAT scan is what a lot of people get. And after that, the first treatment is still medical therapy. We'll start with topical nasal medications, things like, to use a couple examples, Nasonex or Flonase, things we've heard before, maybe some allergy antihistamine medications. If that's not effective and you still have underlying sinus problems, what that means is that the sinuses are blocked and they're not draining effectively. And interestingly, about 3 or 4 years ago, a procedure was developed that is basically the newest way to treat these sinus problems.
And let's take a look at that. We got it right here.
Yeah, and it's called Sinuplasty. And basically, Alex, what it is it's a way to treat sinuses, and we're using this balloon to dilate or to open the blocked sinuses. And we used to, many years ago, and we still do sometimes, go in and actually remove tissue. But this balloon will actually allow us to dilate the sinuses, open the drainage openings so that they're not blocked, and we can do it in a minimally invasive way, outpatient, return to work the next day. It's really a nice, new, exciting technology.
Basically, this just goes up your nose, you pump up the balloon. Is that how it works?
That's right. Up your nose with a rubber hose. Well, we got it right here. And this is a very hard balloon that works. And one other really interesting thing just to touch on, about a year ago, this stent was developed, and this is the newest, kind of latest and greatest thing. This is a stent that was developed to be placed in the sinus after it was opened, and we can actually use this in a new, exciting way off-label to fill it with drugs and deliver drugs like antibiotics and steroids to the sinuses.
And we got a free event where people can find out more information about this, right?
Absolutely. Wednesday night, Alvarado Hospital, 6 p.m. We're going to do a seminar, a community seminar. We're going to show people the technology and help them understand what we can do for them.
All right. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Alex,
appreciate it. Hopefully get those
me.
people some relief out there. For more information, if you want to attend, you go to san diego6.com. Just click on the link, Hot Topics.